My dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and tonight I've got another book talk video to share with you guys. And tonight we are talking about A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck. Now, yesterday morning I went to one of the book-related Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and I said, I'm looking for a short read. What are your favorite novellas? And I said to myself, whichever one is mentioned the most, I'm just going to read it. And this was the one. It was mentioned about a half a dozen times. And I instantly downloaded it after, waiting a few hours to get the consensus. And holy shit. This book, if you've read it, this book is so short. It's 104 pages, but it packs such an incredible punch that I know I'm going to be thinking about this for quite some time. Now, this book's been out for a while. It came out, I believe, in 2012. And what we have here, well, before we get into it, I'll tell you how it goes for the book talk videos. I'll give you the brief synopsis, and then I'll give you a warning, and we'll get into the spoilers. This video is going to be short because the book is so short, but here we go. Basically, we have a man named Soren who has died. And when the book picks up, he finds himself in hell. And quickly we learn that hell is different than on Earth, we've been told that it will be. And he learns that instead of an eternity of brimstone and hellfire or anything else you might read in any sort of religious text, what he is faced with is an impossible task, pretty much. He finds himself in a library. So basically, when he first arrives, there's a demon, and there's a bunch of other humans who have died, and the demon is sorting them into the hells that they're going to go to. Everyone, it's a different one for each of the people. And when it gets to Soren, our main character, the demon's kind of like, you liked reading, didn't you? You loved books? I know just the place for you. And then poof, Soren comes to in a library. And it's this, we don't know at first, and we never know, but at first especially we don't know how big this library is. But we know it's very large, and the task at hand is he can move on from this hell once he finds the book that tells his life story. And now there are many books in this library. But all he has to do is find the book that tells his life story. And so begins this tale. And that's really all I can tell you without the spoilers. So like I said, short video, short synopsis. Now's the time to click away if you don't want to hear the spoilers. But I will tell you, this book is filled with dread. I was anxious the entire time I read it. But compelled. I couldn't put it down. And it was so interesting in that it's a story of existential dread, existentialism in general. And if that's something you find interesting and you like that sort of terror that comes with that sort of thinking, I would definitely recommend. It's not horror in the traditional sense, even though it was the Books of Horror Facebook group that I got the recommendations from, but it's terrifying in that it's, well, we'll get more into it. We're going to move on to the spoilers. Would recommend, if you love things that kind of kick up that existential dread in you, if you like looking at, just pondering and questioning what is the nature of things, what is the nature of reality, what is the nature of God, I think you'd really enjoy this. So definitely check it out. Now, beat it. Beat it if you don't want spoilers. Okay, you guys. So he's searching. It's okay. So I'm trying not to spiral even just talking about it, but he's got to find the book that tells the story of his life. As he starts going through the bookshelves, the books are filled with nonsense. It's just like letters and symbols. Nothing makes sense. It takes years to find a book that has even a semblance of sense to it. And it's one of, so this, I know this sounds chaotic because it's chaotic when you're reading it. Soren finds this group of people in his portion of the library, and they're all sort of going through the books. And so when we meet him and them, he's just arrived. And like the first book that one of them finds, it's this man named Biscuit, and he finds like just two words. It's the first two sensical words anyone has found. And what they learn is that this library that they're in contains every book that has ever been written, every book that could ever be written, and then all of those books backwards, then plus so many volumes of nonsense. And at first, they're hopeful. They're like, oh, easy, we'll find our books and we'll get out of here. But of course, that's not the nature of this library. And as time goes by and we watch Soren meeting these people, like on Earth, he was Mormon. And so when he comes to the afterlife, he's expecting to find what he learned as a Mormon in church and through his Bible. But once he comes there, he realizes that, like the demon who he meets at the beginning, he's like, well, there's just the one true religion, and it wasn't Mormonism. And it's like this religion that nobody's ever heard of, that very few people actually practiced, and that's the one true religion. So everything that he's learned, he's kind of trying to unlearn as he adapts to this new life. And there's rules. So it's like there's these kiosks where you can go and get any food that you want at any time during the daytime hours. If you're thinking of this milkshake you had when you were 6 that you loved so much, you can go and ask for it and it'll arrive. They have beds and bedrooms and bathrooms and showers. Like, it's very physically comfortable. You have all the food, drink, beds, everything that would give a physical body comfort. But they're all on this quest to find the book of their life. But the thing that they start to discover as time goes by, because at first they're like, oh, maybe it'll, I'm going to get right to it. I don't want it to take 20 years for me to find this book. But of course, it's going to take them forever. Because it's not just a big room filled with books. It's literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of stories. Like, not book stories, but like stories of this library. And each level goes on for hundreds of thousands of miles in each direction. And it's an impossible task. So you've got this flicker of hope in your soul. Like, I just need to find my book and then I can get out of here and move on to heaven. But like, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So we meet him when he first gets there. And then we check in 100 years in. And then we check in 1,100 years later. And then we check in, and like we know towards the end that he has been there for billions of years. Like, he's there forever because there's no way to find this friggin' book. Just the dread that builds as you're learning that the hope that he had for figuring this shit out and getting out of this absolute nightmare is futile. It's futile. It's so good. If you love those types of stories that make you think and make you feel in a way that's different from how books normally make you think and feel, at least for me, like, this really took me on a journey that unlike any other book that I've read. And like I said, it's 104 pages. You can quickly get through it in a sitting if you've got the time. And I really enjoyed it. And this is an older book. It came out in 2012, but like I said, when I asked for the recommendation, whatever one was most recommended I was going to read, didn't matter what. it was or when it was published. And I'm so glad I read this. And it's just that kind of story that I know is going to stick with me for a while. And I really enjoyed it. So there you go. There's my this video is longer than I thought it was going to be. I had more to say about it than I thought I did. But I really enjoyed it. And I'd love to hear if you've read it, what you thought of it. And if not, just say hi. Let me know how your weekend's going. And happy Mother's Day to any moms who happen to be watching this when it goes up. Anyway, I will see you guys again soon. I recently had a request in the comment section from Kimmy, who's I've been friends with here on YouTube for years. And she asked for a video about like must-read books that I've loved over the years. So I'm going to be making that video next. And I'm going to try to pick from like all different genres of just books I've loved so much and share them with you. She was like, when I go into the bookstore, I want to know exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to try to help you out with that. And yeah, thank you for watching. And I'll see you again really soon. Bye.